Welcome, everybody. This is Draft 2. Chronologically, it's Playground League, Homeroom. This is 1A. And I'm here with Dirk, Beg, and Blue. We're looking at Miranda Draft here. You can see the top 8 competitors. How's it going,
Thank you
Dirk?
for having me. I'm having a very good time. We just finished watching the first games and the draft of Amit, Miranda's fiance, when she was commentating his draft, and we already got some of her thoughts and insights on the format and the joint research both of them did. One thing she did mention was that green was not actually in one of her preferred colors, but seeing a herd migration in the first pack is just too tempting. It's a fantastic card.
Yeah, it's payoff
Uh,
for having a 5 color deck. Maybe looking for some Vader stuff. If Rexian Missionary is good for the long game type of value game, too.
and knowing the order of the sets is different than in the first draft means that right now we have a different meta. In the first draft, Bro was the first pack, which was very useful because you didn't have to commit to any colors because there's so many artifacts. In DMU, the advantage is different. You have to make guesses on stealing all these domain lands, of which you might have three in a single pack.
Speaking of domain lines, Sunlit Marsh, she was highlighting it. She ends up taking it. It looks like, yeah. So she's got a plain swamp. You're not going to find those in other packs, but it works perfectly with Phyrexian Missionary in theory.
Absolutely. I was asking her and also other people when I was playing my first Megadraft 2 sets earlier, and she was also one of the people mentioning she's already hovering over the universal fixing of Deathbloom Gardener. That you have to prioritize fixing your lands because you are more likely to actually put them into your deck. Because what people are not used to is how damn long this is going to get and how many cards you have to choose from.
Yeah, you end up cutting a whole lot of cards in these mega drafts. 6 packs. Of course, it's more than the normal type of draft, double the picks, but the cards are going to be 60 decks long. We know that it's the same mega draft format as normal, but this mega draft is actually a first time. I think it's unprecedented here. We have 2 top 8s, one for each homeroom, and what we're gonna see either today or another day, we're gonna have to see. The 2 winners are gonna face off in a best of 5. That's never happened before in our 5-year history. It's a new thing for this league.
Mm. The packs so far didn't have too much things that tempted Miranda. Right now, picking up the Destroy Evil as pretty solid removal, 2 mana, Destroy Toughness 4. Is sometimes this almost the same effect for like 2 more mana in other sets coming up in the rotation later on.
Something like
I'm
Destroy
seeing.
Evil. Sorry, you can instantly blow up something like an enchantment, like Oblivion Ring type style to actually kill like ambush a creature in combat. I like that about Destroy Evil.
It's fantastic, absolutely. People are going to pick up very classic stuff. Very tempting this pack for sure. Samite Herbalist has very good crew synergies and list synergies, but also Barret Argivian Recruiter is a beast.
Oh yeah.
Everyone picked him during the brawl games of the playground. But according to Miranda herself, Boros has a very bad track record in mega drafts,
A
and I
nice,
think she was very aware of this.
nice responsible 2 drop. You need your 2 drops. She takes it early. It gives you value even just for swinging once. So
Mhm.
there it is.
I am honest. I am honestly shocked the sunbathing root Wallop went unpicked because he is evil.
You gotta have the domain for it to be as good as it can be. I mean,
Mm.
we're not gonna necessarily see that. It's not a DMU draft. Obviously, it's still a 2 drop and it has upside, so it'll be taken.
Well, my point being, even if you have domain 2 or 3, you're still at pumping up for 2 or 3 for mana. Just threatening that pump is very useful. Captain's Call and Queen Ironlaw are both amazing cards. Sadly, cards you would want in the same deck.
Queen
It's
Eleanor.
a rough choice.
That is her color pair at the moment, but of course she's not sticking to 2 colors. Doesn't seem like she's planning on sticking to full 2 colors right yet, so not going for the gold
Yeah.
card.
I think it is smart of her to not commit to the color combination so far, but instead pick solid cards that could in both separate colors, so she can commit to one side or another based on the upcoming packs,
Yep.
which are, by the way, going to be Dominaria United right now, Kamigawa, Brothers War, Innistrad, Strixhaven, and what was the last pack? Last set of
Did you say bro?
help me out.
Um,
Yes.
you said Midnight Hunt. There's always that
Mm,
one that
I
leads us.
we have Brothers War, Midnight Hunt, Strixhaven, Kamigawa, Dominaria United, and
It was posted somewhere here. As we see, what's she taking out of this pack? Looks like the
um
colorless card.
Thran Portal earlier went right in the sideboard. Same for Shield Wall
Oh,
Sentinel, which you would only want in the Defender deck.
the answer is
Very
S and
valid,
C,
very
by the
valid.
way.
Yes.
So it's the same
She's
order
picking up.
as the other pod, right? The 2B pod that ran 2 hours ago. It's still going ongoing as we speak.
No,
Oh, it's a
it
different
is
order.
in fact not. In the earlier part, the first pack was Brothers War. It ended on Strixhaven. Both orders got randomized, and we have two very different drafts at the moment.
Ah, I see.
She is not looking to take Invoke Compare. Similar to Emmet, she is considering the Kappa Tech Wrecker, who is an unbelievably useful card. Master's Rebuke, she's also strongly considering, but I think the Kappa is the right choice.
Yeah, this exiles target artifact or enchantment if it hits face. So you can hit it face naturally just because it's got Death Touch, or you can, very often we see it ninjutsued for something else to get even extra value on the creature you bounce back.
Mhm. Especially if you don't, he's still a 1/3 Death Toucher, which is a very solid creature. Or maybe even some kind of blink effect, resetting the counter to get even more value on him.
And of course, it's a 1/3 Death Toucher. It stops aggro stuff a lot of the time when you just play that down on 2.
Absolutely. Selesnya often does want that. She's considering Tamio's safekeeping, Wanderer's intervention, but also Tales of Master Shikiro is a really, really solid comment.
5 mana, you get a bit of low tempo at the start, just adding a counter to the board, but you do that twice and then get a 5/5 haste or a couple turns later.
Yes, I think it's really fantastic.
Looks like she's hovering that right now. Looking like a Selesny deck at the moment with chance to splash black, but a long way to go. You're rewarded for staying open even longer than normal in these 6 pack drafts. 6 pack drafts.
Mhm. Definitely, but I do think the power of this. Oh
Wow,
my God,
that's huge.
Akatsushi has been passed
Uh,
twice.
These are not play boosters here. I got to think the two people who passing are Steve and John. They're passing this mythic pack 2 early in the draft here. It's not play boosters. There was only one rare in this pack usually. Maybe there's a second one, a foil.
This is the kind of signal that would convince someone to get into red even after determining it's not the strongest color on average. But considering that we're not handling play boosters and we're considering very low power sets, it this is one of the maybe three serious threats that you put
Yeah,
into your
I'm
hand. I'm
I'm
not.
gonna make a note to remember Steve's open on pack two because in pack 2 because he passed that. I'm guessing he opened another rare. That's my prediction, but we'll see.
That is very likely, absolutely. But now we are noticing that red was kind of questionable in Neon Dynasty. We are looking at 4 red cards, and they are all not great.
There was a mono red deck or nearly mono red even, but sometimes full mono red with very few lands that was hyper aggro. But
Oh.
yeah, it was not. It was mainly a mono deck if I remember.
Pampered in Solitude, I mean, it is card advantage for just 2 mana, but it asks this samurai mechanic of attacking with single creatures, which was really slow and sadly not working that great in this set.
Oh, we're not. We're playing Chaos, so she makes it work. Oh, we got an experimental synthesizer, which is a sweet card.
Yes. Still amazing pop-up playable on multi-format All-Star, but we are also looking at really good blue right now. So excuse me. Prosperous Thief and Moonsnare Specialist are unbelievable ninjas with great enters the battlefield effects. Um,
Moonsnare
I,
Specialist, it could take over a game. If you're not in a position to ninjutsu it, it's a little underwhelming, I would say. If you got a ninjutsu it for and be pull your advantage ahead.
mm, I think she is really getting rewarded for that pivot into red. Uh, Kumano faces Kakazan and Volta Surge, both amazing picks.
As I said, that aggro red deck. This card was in standard for quite a while for that aggro deck, that mono red, the Kazakhstan.
Absolutely, and I would not be surprised to still see it in eternal formats if you really want to put down the speed.
Yep.
And in theory, even though Boros didn't really make it that often in Mega Drafts, if you're really committed to the aggro deck, you don't need that many big, powerful bombs. Instead, playing with lots of very honest, low curve cards.
As we might expect, 2 silver for Masters in the last 3 packs. A decent archetype in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, but you're not going to get Ninjutsu in any pack but this one. It's being passed right along.
Absolutely, it is. It takes a lot of changing your mindset to forget which cards were good in Neon and instead consider them in the big picture of this. This pack is kind of underwhelming. My biggest favorite would be the Sky Swimmer Koi. I am kind of expecting that blue would also have been a decent choice, but black seems to be the most popular color at this table because I am seeing nothing.
Yeah, network terminal. She's hedging on it. It does fix. It does give you some card selection if you have artifacts around. It's quite possible. And what would we have? Mukata Amateur is a black card. It's not unplayable by any means, but that's yeah. The black is not coming around the table. It seems in general.
Mm. Uh, I am assuming she really made up her mind about that red, but would you rather play Gruul or Boros?
In Megadraft? Well,
Right now, considering the picks we are looking at.
I mean, I think Boros considering the picks we've been seeing, but all these players know what they're doing. I think they're all staying open to see which lane is best to go in. So I think we're still at take the strong card, prefer your colors sort of moment here. Patrick Automaton could have crazy good starts, but once again, chaos.
It isn't chaos, that's true, but we have multiple sets that care about artifacts, and she was hovering about all these cheap artifacts that could really quickly put counters on the automaton. If you put one counter on him, he's already worth his value because War 2 is just a pain
Yep.
To remove this guy.
Yep. Speaking about artifacts, with Mechaten Core, it's not gonna happen. We'll never
It
see it.
would be so exciting, but sadly that card was not even that great in Neon Dynasty itself.
It was a bit of a meme.
But what a fantastic meme it is.
Couple of cards
Well,
that we might expect to see here in the end of the pack for Neon Dynasty.
Ninjutsu is just, it's such an exciting and fun mechanic, but our little Master Splinter is not gonna make it today.
Maranda right now in Naya colors after 2 packs.
Which is very much her style. She was riding that Naya during the league as well, similar to Emmet, who was playing Blue-White Tempo both in the league and also now in the draft.
Adaptive Automaton buffs a creature type. It's gonna be hard to make that work. I mean, it is a colorless card. She's reading it right now. Astronaut requires a little synergy, I think.
Well, Astronaut is just solid. She, of course, plays in a whole aristocrat archetype, and she is actually considerable. She does her job well enough.
I had her in
And at least if you play a one
one
mana
mana.
Death Touch
Yeah.
1/1,
If that's
it's
the floor,
already
it's just
nice.
fine. I actually had her in Bro League. I remember using it with. I don't remember what, but I made Power Stones. Automaton's the pick here, so creature type. Gonna think about what creature types now, I guess. I can't remember what kind of. Oh, she has 3 soldiers on one card, I suppose.
Absolutely. Most likely she was considering the aeronaut for the same reason, because blue-white is the soldier archetype at the moment. But she is not going to touch blue today, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Unleash Shell, I'm quite a fan of, actually, because it both removes and burn face.
Yeah, 5 mana
Um,
removal, burn face. Oh, she's hovering it right as we spoke.
mm,
Oh, but Blanchwood
uh,
Parlor is highlighted. It's a type of
yes,
card that we see very often now. Mill yourself and maybe get a land. This one has the upside of put a counter if you don't hit.
I do think it is a solid choice, because in this kind of format you do want to have your 2 drops, but these 2 drops setting you up for the late game is just a solid choice. They are not often going to win you the game on their own, but he's just being there, maybe allowing himself to chump or get sacrificed.
Ocean Tactician,
I
buffing soldiers. Hey, adaptive automaton. Soldier deck. No.
You never know. Urza Silex, of course, even in a white deck, I don't know how desirable it would be. She's still like rereading it, because whoever played this.
Basically, both people
Honestly,
get reset to 6 lands, it looks like.
yeah. Having a unconditional board wipe setup is nice. The only problem is you are telling your opponent what you're planning to do with it.
Not bad to have a board wipe, though. What do we have here? Cornucopia is on unplayable rare. Mass production. That's a way to get 4 soldiers. Now look at that. I mean, this was by design. DMU and Bro are in the same kind of block, if you want to say that. So there's ways to go wide with soldiers in both the sets, and she already has a captain's call. Mass production
Yes.
makes 4.
Um, and also just considering that white has so much in its core that going wide pays off, and now the automaton could do it.
Yeah, I
But
do. I do
let's be
like.
honest,
Yeah, I do like her pick though. Prison sentence comes in. It's removal, which she seems to need. It's Scry 2, and it comes in also. Pseudo removal.
absolutely. Going on single card synergies is not very likely to pay off on these 60 cards. But there are plenty of go white payoffs in green and white in almost any set.
The funny
It
thing
is
is the
such
Queen
a
Alena, all those picks ago, goes really well with that.
yes, absolutely.
Of course, Captain's Call
It's
was picked, and it was in the same set. It was in the same pack. Sorry, so it was one or the other.
now considering Rock Hunter over the Aeronaut Cavalry, which I kind of like, because Red is, she knows it's not her unbelievable on her picks right now, but she knows it's not very popular on this table. So in the future packs, she is going to expect more
Yeah,
payoffs.
yeah, I would not be surprised. We do remember that Atsushi picked 3 in this pack, last pack, so gotta keep that in mind.
Mm.
Whirling Strike's a pretty sweet combat trick if you're trying to push damage. Trample on first strike if you have a big creature, but maybe it's not great for go wide. You want to trample on a bigger creature. Repost is interaction important. I don't know how much interaction is here. I know we picked up the 3 man the 3 man prison sentence. I don't know how much else do we have here. Not much.
Well, she did take the Destroy Evil rather early.
Oh yeah.
And we, of course, as an aggro deck, don't even want to have as much removal as a control-y kind of or mid-range deck. Blitz Automaton is absolutely great, going in 3/2 in haste, or coming in big and hot at 7.
Mhm.
Bitter Reunion sure is rereading it, but having a tormenting voice and a haste at some point I am not the greatest defender of it, but I guess in Boros you just need any card draw you can get.
Yeah, it's nice to pick up. End of the pack here, or last 8 picks. Not stuff you love to see. For her
But
colors, she's only got this red card. It looks like Mishra's Onslaught.
which of course has again the soldier archetype. Um, they are not just mindless artifacts, but I don't think any of the upcoming cards are still going to care too much about it.
Now in red we have Faladi Chain Dancer. You have to pay to give it double strikes, 4 mana, 2/4 otherwise. And she's looking at the Cavalry, which is this the wheel? Oh, yeah, this is a wheel. It's pick 9, so I think there's another one coming too. If it's gonna make it around to her, we don't know, but it looks great in her deck, to be honest.
I am sure she's really happy to see it again. She was already hovering over it earlier, before the wheel. So sending it around the table is another really loud signal for her that white is not that popular on this table, and she knows it is a rather strong color in all of the sets. Especially expecting Strixhaven coming up, where you really want to be in one of the color pairings to get scry lands, in case you get into a board store, which is rather likely in this old school kind of Magic everyone is playing today. And just getting all those gold cards in there. Maybe she opens some kind of Valimakus Lawhold and really wants to play it.
Taking Yoshin Tactician, says soldiers, bust all soldiers. Over the Veterans Power Blade, which doesn't look very good next to the new Job Select Final Fantasy cards, but it's a weapon, I guess.
We would be taking that Soldier Lord more seriously if it were in one of the 3 color combinations of the upcoming new Streets of New Capenna.
Oh yeah.
Well, not upcoming right now, it's in fact the last of the sets.
Capenna, you had the Naya color pair, right? Not Cabaretti? Was it Cabaretti? It was Cabaretti, yeah.
Which I like because they are just one of my favorites. The only Boros combination, yes. She got the Stone Brain, which is actually not that bad.
This is Midnight Hunt, right? So this is Midnight Hunt.
Yes.
We got Lightning Bolt if it's nighttime here. Good luck making it nighttime, but it can happen.
Even without nighttime, the Moonranger Slash is a good card. I was playing it for the whole league. And it always finds a target, even if it has to be someone's face.
Yeah, it's either Lightning Bolt or 3 times as expensive Lightning Bolt, but still 3 damage anywhere you want. Ludovic was actually in my league deck for this league, for the whole league. I don't even know if I ever activated it. It's just a 2-drop.
Yeah, Ludovic is rather tricky. Of course, nobody would be too angry to play just a 2/3 vanilla at the moment.
Problem is,
but even then, he at least mills himself.
Yeah, I was so scared to activate it and then get blown out by they respond to it. That's all.
Very understandable.
Wake the Slaughter. Oh yeah, that reanimates things.
I think it's just a short reanimation.
Yeah.
Return to the battlefield, gains haste, exile at the beginning of the end step.
With flashback.
She reanimates 2 creatures. They attack and flashback that later again. Very aggressive, but you really need a very full graveyard to take good advantage of it. Kazakomando instead, which is a all-star of the format.
Yeah, flash can kill artifacts, enchantments, or it could just be a 2-drop to beat them down for like 9 damage sometimes.
Sometimes it's just enough to flash her in and block some attacker who didn't expect to get taken down by a 2-drop.
Yeah.
Other times she might also destroy the O-rings we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, very versatile.
Right, she might be kicking herself to have abandoned green looking at the clear shot, which is another all-star removal of the color in especially Midnight Hunt.
Was there a clear shot in the last pack too, or am I crazy? Maybe the first one, but I thought I saw another one already.
Calling it now, her mouse is just making angry movements over that clear shot. She is strongly considering because, like we said earlier, the Naya colors are coming at the end, so she might do the green splash, and if she splashes some Naya bomb, she might as well take the clear shot as
I'm
well.
not gonna lie, we just passed midway. She's got a bunch of green in what is now the sideboard. I don't think it's too late, personally.
Yes, I'm very sure she wants to be responsible in an aggressive deck. Playing aggressive in three color is a spicy and taxing combination, and now she's looking at all these amazing cards that she is not going to play with Duel for Dominance, Olivia's Midnight Ambush, and instead taking the Search Party Captain.
Sometimes a one drop, sometimes a two drop replaces itself.
He's Yes, he is still really great in that sense. Any card that says draws a card in white is already a very popular inclusion.
This Olivia's Midnight Ambush was a really good black removal spell in the format, but of course it's not going to be nighttime nearly as much as you would want it to be with that card, but still does the job. It's going to someone else. We have Dreadhound, scary card.
I think she was as convinced as we were that black gets drafted and you shouldn't look at it, and suddenly she looks at all these fantastic black cards passing her by. It must be a really weird feeling.
Yeah. Well, Clarion Cathar, it comes with a human, not a soldier. Of course, it's humans is the archetype in the Innistrad sets there for white.
Not just white, it was the green-white
green, yeah. Each color, yeah. There were 5 different, I guess, creature types in various color pairs.
Stolen Vitality is a very honest combat trick. Sometimes not even likely to win the fight, but at least you push through that damage even more, hoping to win the game before the opponent stabilizes.
It does have that defensive mode of first strike, which comes up sometimes, but you'd rather not do it if you're the aggro deck, obviously.
It's just not what Reds wants to do, right?
No. And also, you're usually playing it into untapped mana if you're blocking, so it's a risk. Draven Exorcism. That was like a kind of sideboard card.
Oh yes. Rite of Oblivion was a pain to deal with. Really fantastic in the format and fantastic in this draft as well. If one of the players is an Orzhov, that person is going to be very happy to have it.
What is she looking at here? Ritual Guardian.
Well, that Coven mechanic was rather tedious to activate. Not very popular at all. Most of the people are going to be very happy in blue and black, and just the complete set of Midnight Hunt. So of course this is kind of a drought for Maranda at the moment, but Sungold Barrage, very honest, not as good as the Destroy Evil she picked up earlier, but still good enough to put into your deck for sure.
This is the variant where it's toughness 4 or greater, so she'll have to remember that if she's planning on using it for that.
Yes, I made that mistake during the league like once. Which might have made the difference, because I shot past the top 8 myself just under Maranda on, I think, the 13th.
Obsessive Astronomer interacts with Day-Night, but it doesn't have Daybound, Nightbound on it, so it's probably won't make the final deck, if I'm gonna guess.
That's true. Now she just looks at Jack-O-Lantern, which is a surprisingly good way to maybe fix your deck, but it is rather slow using mana until the foot draws a card. Voldaren Stinger threatens always to pump up the power when it attacks.
Well, that's another one. Looking at the 2-2
the
though.
Stinger really goes into the vampire tribe, not because of tribal synergy, but because they had the archetype of making the opponent lose life to get additional effects. Neonate Thrush was one of the only cards that actually ask you to play real vampires.
Yeah, it was handy. Abandon the Post can come in a sideboard type situation. You get rid of more blockers than the opponent ever saw coming sometimes.
It can even be mainboarded, invalidating the whole suite of blockers if you cast it and recast it
Yeah,
from the graveyard in the same
I'd
turn.
won games in that league way back when using that card.
Oh, Poet's Quill is so great for a black deck.
Well, when she passes it, she could be at least happy that Learn isn't it. Oh, she's not passing it. Learn isn't
Oh,
gonna be.
Miranda is a very active hate drafter.
We have.
She is not going to let people have this.
I'm gonna guess she's a fan of this card in general. Does it have to do with her secondary persona in this league, Professor? What's it?
Professor Onyx.
Onyx? Is it her quill? I'm not even sure.
I don't think so. The whole archetype of black and white in this are all poets and
Oh yeah.
are using. Oh yes, they are the most creative bunch in terms of using the power of words.
Oh, she
But
took
I
it.
am pretty sure. Oh, she's looking at a board wipe with devastating
Oh yeah.
mastery. Or a really good returning creature, return past caller. I was trading for that guy myself during the league, and he plays really nicely, getting you a spirit, instant, or sorcery,
Well,
so you are very likely to find a
yeah.
target.
She was hovering over these four cards, were all in the Boros archetype, and it wouldn't surprise me if she knew Strixhaven was coming, so she wanted to get into one of those five color pairs. And as we know, in Strixhaven, they kind of reimagined the color pairs role, and red white is a little controller here, hence the return pass color. It's no aggro card. It's a nice value late game card.
Absolutely. I'm sure she is considering which of these is most likely to wheel, and which is most likely to go away, which is the correct choice. Study Break would be the most popular, being just white and having the learn mechanic.
Oh, there's
Earlier,
a
Ahmed
campus here too.
picked.
It's the second Boros campus we've seen in two packs too. Conspiracy theorist. Oh yeah, discarding cards to draw cards.
Oh, yes. He is pretty solid, and I think she's more and more happy to have committed to the red while the others are ignoring pretty solid cards. She is just hoping that Lawhold Campus is making the whole round back to her. If this is going to be her pick 11, she is sitting pretty.
Mm-hmm. It is a rare. It's a rare card.
Yes. Of course, not quite the game-winning rare kind of rare, but at least early board presence, very good value.
That card has a static ability about discarding cards from your hand, so it doesn't have to be triggered by itself. So I'm sure she has other synergy. She had the enchantment that lets you discard one, draw two, and give haste eventually. Probably other
Oh,
ways to
yes.
discard.
And environmental sciences, one of the very useful lessons to pick up.
Poet's
Start from
Quill.
scratch earlier.
Poet's Quill and Study Break
Was
both learn, so she's interested in it.
Yes. And it is good that she is leveraging that mechanic to never run out of gas. She was earlier looking at Start from Scratch, which is a 1 damage burn spell for 3 mana. Could have been useful, but sadly that pack was too stacked.
Unfortunately, that card helped you splash, and the Poet's Quill is probably the splash. So you don't usually want your splashed card to
Yes.
find you your fix-in.
Now she has one of maybe the best lesson card of this set, uh, except
Mascot
for the
Exhibition?
Mythic. Yes, except for the Mythic. If we don't consider that one, Expanded Anatomy has a really high win rate and even gets mainboarded by people.
Yeah.
So she is very lucky to get this one. Guiding Voice, also kind of cute. But Anatomy and just getting more and more lessons in here
Mm-hmm.
is so great.
Academic probation is, I think it's more constructed oriented there. You name a specific card.
Yes, it's not really limited kind of material.
But Dragon's Approach. Oh, it's to player. It's not what I thought it was. This 2 mana flyer can be really good in the late game. It has to be dealt with. You pay 4 mana to make something else flying. You have to exile a card from your graveyard. It's usually trivial at that point in the game. But making like two of your creatures flying could Be dangerous in the late game. Oh, she took the lesson card just in case. There's Low Herald Campus here.
Yes, I'm. But also another study
Oh
break.
yeah.
Having those lessons will really help her out. And tapping down two targets just takes away so much of the blocking capabilities. Divine Gamut, of course, absolutely unplayable. And same for the Blood Age General, if I remember the Spirit Synergy, which was not really useful.
Seeing a study break this late tells me it's decent chance no one's using white in an aggro shell. It's not. It's very possible someone is, but it's a good sign at least.
Yes, which means she chose definitely the right lane here. Uh, Picking up all the white and red that people are not considering at the moment. Which is because the both Lawhold, the Cabaretti, and earlier red white were not that popular actually in the sets themselves. But as we said earlier, we have to rethink some of these sets in this new context. And that means maybe this color combination has been moving up when other tribal synergies are not working as they used to.
You can see how far
She
we've
has.
gotten away from the pack one pick one of domain full domain stuff. It's
Oh, that's very true. Which is kind of saddening me as a green mage because herd migration is still such a huge danger. Devastating Mastery, completely wheeled,
don't.
which, of course, she as an aggro player doesn't even really want to wipe the board, even though she could definitely maybe cast it if she wanted to.
Illustrious Historian. It's 2-1 that turns into a later game 3-2, and then there's Stonebound Mentor, 3 mana 3-3 that interacts with stuff leaving your graveyard. Probably not going to happen too much.
Clever Lumimancer was actually played, even in Constructed, in a kind of spellcraft, hyper aggressive, almost storm spell kind of way.
I remember it, yeah.
It was an amazing deck. It was so much fun.
Well, do you want a vanilla 1-4
And
for 2? Or a double strike? 3 mana 1-2.
she she was making fun of Ageless Guardians so much in Amid's draft. He was picking up like three of them almost as a joke, just because he didn't have any good choices left for almost five picks. Just we are really getting to feel that Strixhaven wasn't that much of a powerhouse set.
We're moving to pack 6 now. SNC.
Mhm.
And after this, we'll review the draft logs and get to our 3 games. Let's see. I mean, this 3-color Cabaretti cards might not be too playable, so she's looking for Boros colored cards with maybe hybrid
Well,
mana.
it's not too playable for her yet. It really depends if this set is going to provide her with at least reasonable fixing to bring out some Cabaretti bombs, because Cabaretti was one of the more aggressive kind of clans of this set. And especially everyone being so committed to their colors already means that the wheel and the things that are getting passed are going to be huge.
Uh,
So
I'm looking
there
at
are
this
not.
pack and seeing Jackhammer, one of the worst cards in the set to pick up. Boon of Safety is like the variant of Save Your Creature for 1 mana. But Riveter's Outlooks, I think, is a good pick because she's trying to splash the Poet's Quill, and this gives her red and black, basically.
Yes, if this had been my first pack out of them all, Riveteer's Charm would have been really interesting. It's one of the, maybe even the strongest of the charms. In this pack now, Sticky Fingers is kind of interesting
I
for
think
her kind of deck.
I think Stick Finger's quite a good card. It wasn't like so amazing in its set because of how the set played out, but I think it's got doing a whole lot for 1 mana.
Yeah, it replaces the mana cost immediately if the creature connects. And her other choices are not that great. The decoy, of course, you wouldn't want to splash for that. The cat, uh, I think giving her 1 or 2 scry, I'm not quite sure, or taking a getaway card, just scry 1. That's really unfortunate. At this point, there's even Scry 2 on like other commons in these sets.
Mm-hmm.
She still takes it, but she is not gonna be happy to play it.
If
But
we do
there is
remove,
something.
where? Oh, she's hovering a
Well,
rooftop
Rooftop
nuisance.
Nuisance is really strong in blue, fantastic card. Iridescent Aria is kind of in her colors and deals 3 to each non-token creature. So with her token strategy, she would not blow up everything of her own board, but she cannot take that risk because she is not fully committed to those colors.
Another
Um,
Riveteer's Outlook. Is that the one she had before? And it does give you black and red. Yeah, black and red. Also, I don't know if that's the one she picked up before, but looking at that.
well, she can just take it hoping to get some kind of green bomb or fixing some kind of green bomb
Well, it
for it with the.
splashes. Did she take Poet's Quill out of the main? I didn't see, but I think that's what
Yes.
she's looking. Calling Professional's the 3 mana deal 3, but has the other text that it goes through shield counters. Probably not going to be as relevant in this format.
Mm, Involuntary employment would have been maybe also a choice. It's kind of a solid threatener effect just because it gives you a treasure token as well, but having that kind of effect, it's just very dependent on the board state, and you never want to really see it except for at the end of the game.
Wait, it can go upstairs to call in a professional too. Not so bad in your aggro deck.
That's true. Wrong's Pummeler was also a really strong card, if I remember correctly. And now we have another meme on the meeting of the
Meeting of the
five.
5. Go for it. Do it.
Never.
And a
She
gold.
is most likely the least capable to play it on the whole table.
Buy your silence. I remember this card specifically because SNC League. I opened 6 copies of this, one in each of my opening packs.
Oh, I feel your pain, especially during this league where we have lots of the same commons. And if it isn't a common you want, it really stings. And I have to say, this is that kind of common with sorcery speed, really expensive.
Okay.
You really just.
There's Ready to Rumble, which is a removal card if you need it, but Riveteer's Requisitioner. Oh yeah, makes treasure when it dies. It also has Blitz for 3, so it
Yes,
replaces itself and you get that treasure. Not terrible.
that is definitely the card she wants. Blitzing this guy is sometimes just the perfect choice, getting in for the damage, not caring what happens to him, getting treasure and a card out of it, or
Oh,
putting him down at 2.
I just realized,
You
yeah,
never.
Phyrexian Missionary has Black Pip on it. That's why Riveteer's Outlook and Sunlit Marsh are in there. She was also harboring Brokers, which gives her the white and black. Same idea, but obviously the card she picked up is quite good anyways.
She
Phyrexian
gets a
Missionary is,
late strangle.
yeah, 1 mana, 3 damage, sorcery speed.
Very solid. Sadly, she did not get lucky in Strixhaven opening a real lightning bolt, but at least we have lightning bolt at home.
hmm So I expect her to probably put 1 swamp in the deck for the Phyrexian Missionary, which was her pick 2, I believe, right as we started recording.
Oh yes.
What do we have?
Nice.
Brazen Upstart. We have Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Goldhound. It's a treasure.
Yeah,
Body Dropper.
but it's of course not that people want to play a whole card just to get the treasure. Body Dropper synergizes with her outlooks by getting counters right when they get sacrificed.
Yeah, I don't expect
But
anything
she is
in this
not going
pack.
to main deck it.
Yeah, nothing in this pack's making her deck. She takes the Body Dropper, maybe to cut someone off of that sack deck, which is always a thing. Boon of Safety, 1 mana, protect my creature. I like it. It doesn't protect it against everything. It doesn't give hexproof or anything, so you do get the Scry 1.
It is really interesting that Riveteer's Charm made the whole wheel, so nobody really that interested in Jund colors, or the Obscura Charm as well.
It's kind of
Seems like
hard.
people seem to really focus their decks this draft, rather sticking to the 2 colors than joining one of the mafiosi clans now so late in the draft.
Yeah, your last two packs are Strixhaven and SNC. It's kind of color pairs. Oh, another Sticky Fingers.
Iridescent Aria, possible splash. If she, but I assume she never really wants to cast it, just risking her own creatures.
Her deck's looking. She's building it on the fly for us, so we can see 30. It's like 35 cards in there without the lands and the Ocean Tactician. That's basically what her deck's gonna look like, I guess.
Yes, she only barely made the 26 playables, but this is all she needs, really. The curve is really elegant and low, just pressing in that damage and hoping to get people dead before they stabilize, which, in my opinion, is a really solid idea considering that we are playing low power Honest Magic tonight.
Yeah, so that's the last pick.
To see it in action.
Yeah, that's the last pick, and we're going to be back looking at the deck list soon, and then we'll have the games, followed by potentially the best of 5 final. We'll see you then.